Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here. We got a lot to cover today. I want to try to get through as much as I can. This is going to be a session where you just need to kind of take notes and go back and review a lot of what I'm going to cover because I want to make sure we're on time for the corporate call that happens today with Dave at 9 o'clock or at whatever time it is, noon Eastern. Expecting some great announcements on this call. About 3 o'clock this morning, I watched this while I was working on these slides, and I found this. I think this is new on Amazon. This is worth seeing. Really, really, really thought-provoking. It kind of confirms the path that all of us have to go down when we're building a business. I mean, it's really. I don't like Amazon. I can't stand Amazon. I use it every day, and they've got us by the throat, especially if you're a seller. But this story is definitely worth seeing. So I just wanted to share that with you real quick this morning. Again, I got a lot of thoughts I'm going to cover real quick. Congratulations to all of you that did at least 250 contacts last week. Y'all are doing a great job. Marilyn Cox, Kevin Mayberry, Carl Cruz, Jeff Turner, Cindy Donahue, Diane Sammons, Martin Farr, Ernest TK, Greg Neef, Gwen Nolan, Viola, Yossi, and Lavi, or however Yossi says his last name. I need to ask him the next time I talk to him. But Yossi's in Switzerland. Alan Knight, Kurt is in California. Kurt Summer and Shelly Giddings was number one this past week with the number of outreach contacts. So congratulations. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. You're just crushing it. And it's really cool. I shared with you last week that September 16th is going to be the last Ninja Boot Camp for a little while. We'll still have the website open. You'll still be able to go there and get feedback from different people. I got people telling me that I cannot log on to that site any longer, but I've got to figure out the best way to do it. And I will. I just haven't yet. So some of you have lacked tag team partners. There's no use in assigning them to you now. If Mike Culver's on here, Mike, I apologize. I was supposed to get back with you, but I just want to set it up to if they don't have a tag team partner, that the leads come to me, and then I can, but which is part of the process anyway. After the second tag team partner works it, they need to come to me, and we can continue to distribute them. So I can talk more with Mike about this. I talked about all this last week. I'm trying to figure out a way to have all these sessions on a podcast so you can listen to them while you're driving, multitask. Everything that we've been trying to communicate, it's about really putting yourself in the psychological flow of the conversation and in the prospect's mind. Who am I talking to? Every prospect is not the same. There's only about 5 to 10 program responses. There's about 10 to 15 philosophies. Once you've got that, you've pretty much got this. And I just want to thank you guys again. I could have never imagined the progress that would have happened with this session, with the whole tag team philosophy and how we can do that in the future. There's just a lot of good stuff that has come from this. I've learned more from this than you guys have, and I really have. And, you know, this session today needs to be studied and implemented quickly, or you're going to miss it. I'm going to say that one more time. This session today needs to be studied and implemented quickly, or you'll miss it. And this is not what I would normally do, but again, I just realized last night that, hey, I only got 2 of these left, so I need to cover a lot of stuff real quick. This is something I've been studying a little bit, and I'm going to get deeper into because I need to understand it. it's a real psychological principle, but there's a true relationship between people feeling psychologically safe and then the amount of accountability they're willing to accept in a group. It's a real interesting thought process, because I think what happened with people, a lot of people got onto this and they got excited about it. And when their psychological safety barrier gets pushed, and accountability will do that, they retreat. And it's something I've got to really try to dig in on and really try to understand better, because I tried to set this up and tried to prepare people for what this boot camp was going to be. And I think a lot of people didn't really understand the intensity level and the seriousness of what we do with this type of outreach. And I'm learning that most people avoid deep work on themselves. They don't want to take a hard look at themselves. None of us do. But man, when you can really do that, when you can somehow for a specific period of time get in touch with your limiting beliefs, because see, you don't know you have limiting beliefs because they're your beliefs. They're your beliefs. I mean, you believe your limits, just like this is a tape dispenser. That's a tape dispenser. That's your belief. Nobody can argue with you because you know that's a tape dispenser. And that's the way we are as human beings on our belief structures, on what's possible, what's not possible. And a lot of you, we can all see your limiting belief, but you don't see it. So I'm gonna be doing some things next year that I've never done before, but it's got to be with this tight knit group of people that feel psychologically safe in the group. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But it's been a real good learning experience for me in many ways. My biggest challenge is a lot of you have a millionaire work ethic, you have authentic communication skills, you have leadership abilities, and all of those are obtainable. A work ethic can be developed, authentic communication skills can be improved, leadership abilities can be developed, especially as they relate to developing a network marketing team. Any average people with above average desire can develop all of those: a millionaire work ethic, communication skills, and leadership abilities. It's obtainable. And some of you are there. But the fourth piece is the mindset. It's the fourth piece to this. And from the beginning, when we started Collect Direct, the second event that I did, the second Zoom training, the whole theme of that was, you've got to think bigger. You've got to think bigger. And all of you that are with me today think that I was talking to everybody else. And I was. But today I'm talking to you, ninjas. I mean, that's who I'm talking to. And whatever you're thinking, you've got to think bigger. Now, there's two levels of thinking big. There's, like, most people have no level of big thinking at all. They're just, we all know, we've all witnessed at this point, people on the network marketing hamster wheel in a state of self-delusion, thinking things are going to get better. The egos, y'all have experienced all that type of minimalistic thinking. Y'all have experienced that. All of you have come out of that, and you're here. And what I'm trying to communicate to you, there's a whole different level of thinking big that you need to try to strive to get to. The second challenge is to learn how to handle people with the mindset/ego. They have the mindset. If I could take some people's mindset on this team and give it to if I could take some of the people's mindsets and give it to these people, you'd have a heck of a distributor. Because there's some people, their mindset, their ego, it's there, but they need to work on their communication skills. They're lousy. Their leadership ability, they think they're great, they're pitiful, and their work ethic. And that's just the truth, guys. And we all know who they are, but they don't know who they are. How do I deal with that? So I got a lot of this stuff that, like, I'm really trying to help myself get to a different level. And there's just a lot of stuff that I'm going to have to deal with and I got to figure out the best way to deal with it, because this is my hurdle. Okay. Because I see it and I understand it, but how do I, and tactfully is not a good word, but how do I, from a very value focused standpoint, help some people break out? So I would ask you, where do you need to work? Where are you out of balance? And what can you do about it? And there's 4 key areas. These are the 4: time management, work ethic. Some of you got that crushed. Mindset, confidence. Some of you got that crushed. Communication skills, being value focused when you're talking to prospects. We all go through a stage when we start doing that direct outreach where we just want to take everybody's head off, because honestly, they deserve to have their head chopped off. They're just delusional. They just are. But we have to be bigger than that. And it's hard. I've gotten better, but I'm nowhere where I need to be. But I know when to use the 2x4. And I think what happens, you cannot use the 2x4 too early, and you cannot assume they're a moron. Let them prove that they're a moron and that they're delusional, because most are morons and delusional. But let them prove it. Don't assume it. Leadership abilities is the 4th thing, and that comes down to getting new team members onboarded and plugged in. We talked about doing a welcome call with tag team members one time. I honestly forgot about it. But guys, if you haven't done that, please give a list to your tag team member. These are the 5 people that need a welcome call. These are the 7 people I sponsored that need a welcome call. Do a welcome call with a tag team member. And if you don't have a tag team member, ask somebody for a favor. They'll help you out. But these are the 4 areas. It really is: time management, work ethic, mindset, confidence, communication skills, being value focused. That's mostly in prospecting. And then leadership abilities, getting new team members onboarded and plugged in, and plugged into the best of your ability. And most of them will peak the day they join. That's the way this is. But 1 out of 3 should take some type of action. And when they're taking action, that's somebody. If they're willing to take action, it's somebody it's somebody that you can give some time to. This business, it's so simple once you really start understanding the ratios and the numbers and the psychology of the whole thing. Now, some of you have seen this 47 times in the last 30 years. You could teach it better than I can, but some of you have never seen it. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time. This is normally an hour training, but I want to make sure people are aware of this. All of us are who we are based upon 3 major influences in our life: parents, society, authority figures. And by the time we're 12 years old, we are programmed. We have perceptions about life, relationships, what we're capable of, what we're not capable of, how much money we'll make when we grow up, what type of profession will be. A lot of this is programmed into us by the time we're 12 years old. And a lot of people never grow out of that. They're just there. And that's the way it is. I mean, parents, society figures, authority figures in the society, the culture in which we were raised. I mean, if I was raised in another country or a big city, I would not be the same person that I became because I was raised in Mayberry, 400 population, small town America in Kentucky, Podunk, Kentucky. That made an influence on me. The people in the community, everything. Some of you were Army brats and moved around. There's everything it all makes a difference by the time you're 12. And then what you start doing, and some of you have gone through our Programming Your Mind for Success. I talk a lot about Clumsy Johnny. And what you start doing after you're 12 years old is you just reinforce what you've been told. Whatever that is, good or bad, you reinforce what has been told to you about who you are, what you're capable of, et cetera, et cetera. And so we're kind of stuck in these programmed perceptions of who we are. And we're around people and we communicate with people all day, every day. And this is where they are. They're in their programmed perception. This is who I am. This is my life. They've accepted it. And they're just stuck there. And then all of a sudden, somebody comes along with Collect Direct, and it's like, my gosh, this is like getting in on Herbalife when Herbalife first started. This is like getting in on Amway when Amway first. This is and the products make more sense, and the market is easier to target. And we start seeing this, and this just drops in our lap. But we're stuck in these program perceptions about, well, yeah, but I can't because of this, and my grandmama said that, and I'm not very good at this other thing. And we start making all these excuses on why we can't. My time, I don't have enough time, all this other stuff, and we're just stuck. But when we start questioning our program perceptions, and you start finding people that were similar to you in your background and your experiences, and you start thinking, my gosh, look what they did. If they can do it, why can't I do it? And they hear these stories and they think, well, other people have done it, maybe I can do it. And they start questioning their program perceptions. They start trying to think a little bit bigger. And then they get in this whirlpool, and out here, here's their goals. Here's their reasons. This is what it looks like when they can get outside of this whirlpool. And the whirlpool's a fancy name for their comfort zones that they've been programmed into. But they get out here, and maybe they go to an event or conference, and they come home and they're just fired up. They think, I can do this, daggone it, I can make it happen. And they're out here and they feel free, they feel focused, they feel ambitious, they feel great. But this whirlpool is always trying to suck them back. And most people get back in this whirlpool, and before you know it, they're right back here where they're comfortable in their program perceptions. This is the comfort zone right here. This is where we all live. Most people live. They just stay in their comfort zone because they don't like these feelings of guilt and anger and fear. And what if it doesn't happen? And what if I do psychologically become authentic and I do communicate with these people and this team of people, and I let them know my fears and frustrations, and then I fail, and all this crap goes on in people's heads. But if they can break out of that and get out here, then get out of their own head and create new program perceptions, you develop a freedom to hear our inner creativity, change our original program perceptions. And see what happens once you get out here. then you're free. You move back to you're free, and now you have a whole new set of program perceptions that were based upon you as an adult, not you as a 12-year-old. And there's a lot more logic there, a lot less emotion, a lot less program responses. Y'all have things that trigger you all the time because it triggered you when your granddaddy said it when you were 11. And being aware of that and dealing with that is what gives you a different type of freedom. So I just needed to share that. Again, this is normally an hour training, but being aware of this, because you've got to deal with that to achieve your full upside potential. The goal is getting in and staying in a place emotionally, psychologically that you've never been before. I hate to say this because honestly, I think he's a creepy dude that makes my skin crawl, but he is a genius. I don't like the guy, but he is a genius, and that's Grant Cardone. This 10X rule, Shelley did that for the book club, and for about that book had a noticeable impact on more people after the book club went through that, probably than anything I've seen maybe ever. Because the people that were ready, there was nothing in that book that they haven't heard 12,000 times, but hearing it from somebody else and hearing it from somebody that's not that we all hadn't heard of, not hearing it, hearing it from Les Brown and Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and whoever is one thing. But when you can hear it from somebody that's building a real estate empire today, I don't know why, but the guy, I saw a noticeable change in a lot of people after that book club went through that particular book. So if you haven't read it, I would suggest the audio version, unless you're, I'm auditory. That's how I learn. But the book, the audio, something, I think if you haven't gotten it, it'd be worth it. If you have gotten it, it'd be worth it to go through again. It's just good stuff. It's just solid in your face. In your face. Here it is. Take it, leave it. I don't care. This is the way it is. Do with it what you want. All right, let me keep going, guys. I got several things here. When they ask for more information, this is the program response. And the key is, don't send them the link. If they say, oh, this looks great, send me your link. Do not send your link. Do not send your link. When they say, I'd like more information, send me your link, maintain your posture, and explain. This is our process. And that's a key term right there. This is our process. And here's just an example. Joe, and this was a response only because I didn't know what company was with. And if you know what company's with, you don't have to ask it. And really, we could probably take this line out. But Joe, I work with, send me your link. Joe, I work with a group of 6- and 7-figure career-minded leaders that understand this is the last team they will ever build. The next step in our process is to check out this video, the box, and then complete the questionnaire below the video. That is counterintuitive to what most people want to do. Most people, you want a link? I'll send you 3 links. I won't say. I'll give it to you 3 times. Make sure you can find my website so you can join. I'll send you, that, but it's counterintuitive. That's not what you're doing. You're qualifying everybody. Everybody has to be qualified. And I may have Alan speak to this later today if we have time, because this whole phone conversation piece of this is something that I've done at different times over the years, but we've kind of added it to this process. And if when you understand this whole flow, when you contact them, they're selling you. They're just selling you. And that's the way it should be. Alan, if you want to come off and just, since we're here, because I'm afraid I'll forget, and I do want you, there he is. I want to unmute you because I want you to talk about the gentleman in Melaleuca, and then the lady that he's getting ready to sponsor today that's going to be his upline. It's just that story because it came from direct outreach and how it was when you contacted.
Yeah, I mean, and all of them kind of work some similar way, in when we get to the people that we're looking for. I mean, our ideal person is a frustrated, um, you know, hardworking, uh, probably otherwise somewhat, they probably have a good job, somewhat successful otherwise, um, person who who is in some company, and that's our in some network marketing company, that's our ideal person, right? So when you see them, I mean, they may have a little resistance at first, but probably not too much. They're not, most cases they're not going to be too nasty, you know. And then it's like and some of them are going to be very interested. And so exactly what Dale just said, it doesn't matter if they're interested or not. I don't. The posture is I don't care. I mean, interesting. I'm glad you're interested, but I don't really care that much. I'm nice about it, but that's my posture. And then it's just taking them, like he said, it's like when they ask for more information, we don't give them, we don't say stuff. Don't We just give them the next website to go to, either the box or the 100 the 100 K gig website. Give them one of those. Man, they get, because they get through. We're all our whole posture is testing them. We're testing them. They are now in a testing process. Okay, interesting. You're interested. Are you interested in everything? Every 30 seconds, are you interested in another thing? I don't know that. I don't know you. And so it's like, well, oh, so you had the attention span to watch a 4-minute video. Whoopee, great job. But that doesn't mean you have attention span for a half-hour video. It's like, let's see how you do with that. And let's see if you're still positive after you go through that. Oh, you were good with that? How about an hour? Let's get Dale talking for an hour, right? And let's see if you're still good. Like after an hour going through, I was, you guys were, right? We were like, I was engaged. I was like, dude, it's like, hours went by where I was like, what else could I find from this guy to talk about? So if they're still engaged at that point, oh, now we've got something. Now I got a little something. Okay. Then I book a phone call with them. It's like, man, and if they're not excited about getting on the phone, well, that's a good information. It's all a weeding process. It's like, if they're not excited about getting on the phone at that point, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing. Move on with your day. Possibly in the future you'll be interested. Maybe that guy goes on an Eagle file or something like that. But it's like, and then it's you don't even, like, when you get them on the phone, it's not, you have a list of questions, and the questions are in the CMG Facebook page, thing of the questions, but the questions are simple. What had you interested? It's like, well, why do you think you'd be good at this? It's like, well, what would you want it to do for you if you did it? Did you see the thing about it's going to take, 5 to 15 hours a week to, at least, to do? It sounds like you're really busy. How are you going to find the time to do that? They will, like, I mean, and it's not a, this is not a game. It's not, I'm not trying to like trick them into saying yes. I'm trying to really find out this information in order so that I know, because like I said last week or whenever, it's like, guess what happens? When they say yes, my work starts because they're going to be calling me, just like I annoy Dale. I mean, they're going to be calling. It's like, so do you want an idiot to be calling you like 6 times a day? Or do you want somebody who's actually taking action and moving down the road and plugging in and spending an hour on their personal development a day? And do you want that kind of person calling you? At least you're still gonna deal with crazy stuff. Might as well deal with it with somebody who's actually like taking action, right? And so so anyway, what happened with this particular guy is, yeah, I mean, he went through all of those hoops. Melaleuca guy, as hard as that can believe, it's almost like it's a miraculous event. Maybe divine intervention, I'm not sure. But it's like a Melaleuca guy actually was frustrated and knew it. Like most of them are delusional and have no idea that, like, but this guy was frustrated and admitted it. Wait a second, my emperor has no clothes. It's like, it's like they're all naked, and Dale just came through town and said nobody's got any clothes on. And so anyway, and he was like, yes, he was yes, and yeah, he got his actually, Philip got his website set up for him like immediately. I mean, it's not been a week, right? And it's like, and then he wasn't like, he was somewhat successful. I would say marginally successful in Melaleuca. So he had some good relationships with some other leaders. And yeah, one of the people that respected him that he reached out to, she'll be getting started today. She'll be on the corporate call here in a minute, when we do the corporate call, and she's bringing her whole team with her. And that's, that kind of thing is weird. Okay, that kind of thing doesn't happen very often. But the rest of it, I mean, I could tell you everybody that everybody that did anything other than just sign up and disappear, like that's the process that they go through.
That's it. That's what we're doing, guys. Your time's the most valuable asset that you have. That's it. We're worrying about a lot of people we really don't want anyway. We don't. So, that's exactly the way it's supposed to work. Exactly like Alan just said. And then when they have the guts to go to their upline, like I've talked to this lady yesterday, she's sharp. She had intelligent questions. Will she peak this afternoon after she signs up after the noon call? Maybe, but maybe not. She might build an empire here. Who knows? She could. And that's just the way this goes. So a couple of things. Let me direct outreach, and this is why I love direct outreach. It's the number one way to develop your awareness of what's going on in the network marketing industry. Because until you have had 50 or 60 conversations with people on the hamster wheel who can't admit it, you don't understand what's really out there. There's nothing out there. It's a social club. A lot of people like to blow smoke. They're just hanging out. They're just hanging out. Nobody's progressing. Nobody's learning anything. Nobody's improving. They're just hanging out, thinking they're in business. And that awareness, I can talk about it, but there's nothing that will help people experience it like direct outreach. So what's going on with network marketing industry? It helps you build your confidence and become lethally skilled. Like the skill sets that you guys have and will continue to sharpen, iron sharpens iron. And you're lethally skilled already, but I'm going to get better I personally, I'm going to get a lot better. So you have to. Does that make, I mean, that's just the way this works, because I'm not going to stop refining my skills. There's nobody on the planet that can deal with Dale Calvert. And I just, and I don't say that from a egotistic standpoint. I just believe it. I mean, my gosh, if I don't deserve it, nobody does. I've been doing this for 40 years. And I've been studying it for 40 years, and I've been analyzing it for 40 years. And I didn't do it 20 years ago and stuck there. I'm trying to continue to move and progress with the markets. So I can help new people and help you guys. So build your confidence and become lethally skilled. CMG ninjas dream big, manage their time, are confident and lethally skilled. They understand this. Together, everybody achieves more. Guys, that's what this is all about. Expecting to become a millionaire and dream big is a learned skill. See, I know some of you get nervous in the service when I talk about you becoming a millionaire. It just messes with you. It's like, I don't need to be a millionaire, Dale. I don't have to be a millionaire, Dale. You know, money, you know, I'm okay. I'm doing fine. I don't, and I know that all that rears up in you. I get it. I've been there. A lot of people here that have got past it, past that whirlpool, have been there. And I'm not saying you need to become a millionaire. I'm not. I'm really not. But I'm saying you could. You sincerely could. But but I can say it from now on, it's not going to do you much good. It's a mindset that only you can intentionally make the decision to become a millionaire and brainwash yourself. You got to brainwash yourself. Dale, brainwash, that's an evil word. That's a bad word. Well, I guess if you're brainwashing yourself with evil stuff, it would be bad. But if you're brainwashing yourself with positive wisdom of the ages stuff, I don't know. I mean, but that's it. And y'all, I've recently told my Jim Rohn, listen to that audio story. And if you, but you know, when he says for the 1200th time, I've heard it, everybody should strive to become a millionaire, not for the money, but for the person you'll have to become in the process. And after hearing it 1200 times, I finally, it got from my head to my heart and made the decision, the conscious decision that day to become a millionaire, and made the conscious decision that day to start programming my mind for that. It works. It works. If you can muster enough, whatever it is, and it's program perceptions to work through that. Once the decision is made, consistent daily action is required. If you don't do the action to back up the go, you become delusional. When you can't do it anymore, when you're doing all you can possibly do on a daily basis, you're doing 3 6-hour shifts every single day, then you have to stop and outsource. And you don't have to do 3 6-hour shifts every day, but that's what I do. You need to develop a plan now. So to outsource, you need to start thinking about advertising budget that is congruent with your personal situation and goals. So I'm going to talk a little bit about advertising budget. Understand it must be congruent with your personal situation and goals. You only use profits for advertising, never the money for your grocery bill. Only profits for advertising, never money for your grocery bill. And then just going back to the whole mindset standpoint, this is William James, which was a philosopher in the 1800s. In the 1800s, he discovered it. The greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitudes. I love that quote. I haven't used it in a long time, but I love it because it's just wisdom of the ages, guys. So the secret no network marketing team is talking about, because only skilled ninjas can do it, is scale up quickly. Most people recruit people by luck or by, spending 2.5 years commenting on their kids' clothes on Facebook for 2.5 years. And oh, that looks yummy. I wish I had spaghetti tonight. And after 2.5 years, they're now friends. And then friends, some people cannot tell friends no. So finally, after 2.5 years, they join them in Melaleuca or whatever. It's ridiculous. But that's what's going on. They spend that's really that's what's being taught. I don't want people to join me because they like me or know me or trust me. I hope they like me, know me, and trust me, but I don't care. I want them to join me because they're sick and tired of being sick and tired and want off the daggone hamster wheel. That's why I want them to join me. No other reason. So you get with Collective Rec, we've got to create a vision for scaling up quickly. And I'm just going to say this, and again, we are going to have all the tools necessary, but I want you to be thinking about this. But sports stadiums, the first network marketing history that provides the possibility to add 100 customers in a day. In a day. Go to this is the best football stadium in the world that's in the picture, but you could go to any sports stadium and walk around with postcards and hand them out, and we're going to give away a whatever PS. I've talked about this some. I'm not going to get into it in detail today, but we can hand out postcards at stadiums where they can go to your website and register to win this PSA 10 graded Jim Mint card of the local sports hero at the end of the season. They go to your website, register for the drawing, and then they go to your Collective Rec site. We're going to set all that up. We're going to set all that up. And see, I can see this time next year, like today, it's like, okay, there's a team that went to LSU. There's a team that went to all the different colleges all over the country, 3 or 4, 5, 7 distributors, each handing out 1,000, 2,000 postcards. Can y'all see? I mean, that's going to happen. That will happen with this team. Like, well, they're in my sideline. Doesn't matter. Y'all meet for breakfast. Georgia's it or whoever. Hopefully I'm back in Kentucky at that point. But I'll go to the game. But we'll meet and have breakfast and go hand out 1,000, 2,000 postcards to the tailgaters before the game starts. That's going to happen every Saturday all over the country this time next year. How many people do you want on your team participating? I want you guys to start really getting a vision for what this can be. And again, if you haven't seen this one, watch it. August 16th, go back and watch it. The lady we were talking about earlier with Alan's, the guy that the gentleman that Alan sponsored for Melaleuca, and then this lady, she's in Florida. Florida is the flea market capital of the world. There's flea markets all over the state of Florida. You could go to a different flea market every Saturday within driving distance, no matter where you live in that state. So again, I'm just trying to give you guys a big vision of where this is going to go. We're building the next eBay for collectibles. Who's building it? This team's going to be the one that builds it. We're going to be the one that builds the customers. So when I'm talking about 3,300 customers, I mean it. I mean, I sincerely mean it. I expect it. So that's as far as the customer aspect of this. When you have a tool that's converting the right people at a high level, scale it up. I love this statement: early to bed, early to rise, work like heck, and advertise. And I would ask you, what % of your business profits can you allocate to advertising? And that's between you and you. It's not my business. And some of you have heard when I started Shackley, my first 3 years, every dime that I made went back into my business for postcards, for direct mail, for newspaper ads. I was advertising all the time because I was part-time. I had to schedule 30 appointments with somewhat qualified people, not derelicts. I learned how to get rid of the derelicts on the phone early. So I didn't talk with derelicts. 30 qualified people. If I could get in front of 30 qualified people, schedule 30 appointments, I would complete 15. If I completed 15, I was going to sponsor 5. If I sponsor 5, I control my financial destiny. I learned that back in Shackley, but it took a lot of advertising. I ran a ton of thrifty nickel ads. I did a ton of direct mail. I mean, I did. Farm Bureau classified ads. I was running ads everywhere, everything. And I spent all of my money for advertising because I wanted to get out of IBM as soon as possible. I didn't have to spend all of it. I could have talked to a few derelicts and not weeded so many people out on the front end and still probably done my 5 a month. But that was my choice. This is doing awesome. This 100K side gig, I am very, very fired up about what I'm seeing happening with this. I really am. So I'm ready personally to scale up. This banner right here, only because of the website, but it's congruent. And some of you have not put the banner, have not loaded the banner. They're doing these surf sites, have not loaded your banner into the surf sites. Do that this weekend. If you've not loaded the banner yet, and we have training on how to do it this weekend. This banner, the click-through rate is better than, and it's terrible. It's terrible, but it's better than any that I've ever seen on a surf site. This banner. And I think because they see this page and then they see the banner and it's like, what the heck is this? And eventually they're going to click on it. So I've only created 5 leads from this, but I've sponsored 4 of the people. Why? Because of exactly what Alan just said. Taking them through the process, qualifying them, and so on and so forth. And I'll create a bunch more leads this afternoon when Kentucky's playing football. When I do it. So I just wanted to mention that to you. Get your banner up if you haven't. Interview questions are critical. We talked about that. Nothing increases your ratios more than enthusiasm, confidence, and focused communication. Who can I help today is a question you can learn to start every day with. And we'll always give Shelley Giddings credit for that. It's the way to start your day. All right. Now, I want to talk about something some of you have never seen, some of you have. You'll see this is all videos from another company. It's when we launched APL Go in the United States. I think I recognize this guy and this guy and this guy. Okay. It's safe list training. And so if you're not familiar with the safe list, I'm going to give you a quick overview. There's you can get all the training, everything is right here. Write this down, cmgdigitalproperty.com/safe list. I did a booklet on this a few years ago. I like this. I always have liked it. I'm getting ready to refine it for this company and outsource it. But you can go here and there's 2 different trainings. Part 1, part 2. Part 1 kind of explains what a safe list is. Part 2 walks you through how to do it. I'm not going to take the time to redo it for this company because nothing's really changed. And if somebody says, well, you shouldn't be showing APL Go training on and I know, and you'll get it. I'll hear it and tell them, if you don't like it, quit. That's the answer to that. That's the program response to that. The skill set is the same. If you don't like the fact that he's talking about an APO Go, quit. Because I know it's coming. So there you go. That's available for you. Let me give you a brief overview of what this is. There's a lot of opportunity seekers, and most opportunity seekers hang out on these surf sites. And then there's also, it's called Safe List. And what you can do with the Safe List, if you're a member, it's basically, I'll read your email promotion if you read mine. That's what's going on. It's all done through email. I'll read your email promotion if you read mine. And when an email comes in, if I click on the link, then I get credits. I might get 2 credits, 3 credits, 10 credits, but I get mailing credits for every email I read. So when I get tired of clicking on websites, I will sometimes go in and just start pulling up emails from these different safe lists and just start clicking the links to get credits during halftime or something. So I can build up my credits. So you build up mailing credits, and once you have enough credits, then you can send your email promotion to the list. That's basically the way it works. You definitely want to have a junk email. You want to set up a file. Like I have a file under Google, it's just called Safe List. And all my safe lists that I'm a member of, it goes into that one file. It never hits my regular inbox. And then when I'm watching a football game or whatever, I can go to that file and pull up these emails and start clicking to get credits. So that's the way I do it. I wrote a whole pamphlet. It's available also here. It's also on Amazon. All right. I'm a member of about 15 safe lists, and there's 4 of them that I upgraded to. Like with List Joe here, it's one of my favorite. Like today, you could send 1,000 emails to opportunity seekers through List Joe for free. Doesn't cost you anything. And then you can send so many per week after that, depending upon how many credits you've accumulated. I upgraded, and I can send, I think with List Joe, it's 1,000 emails every 3 days. Every 3 days, I can go in and I can send 1,000 emails. So File URL, List Joe, List Outbreak, and State of the Art Mailer are my 4 favorite. And those are the ones I've upgraded. The other ones I have not upgraded. And those are the ones I click just to create credits while I'm watching a football game or something. I don't do this intentionally. I do intentionally. Part of my schedule every week is doing my safe list mailings, The clicking I do whenever I'm multitasking. I'm going to outsource all this. And I will have generic videos for the safe list and for the surf sites that if you want to hire an outsourcer at some point with your profits, not your grocery money, then we will have a generic ad to run on like Fiverr or Upwork or some of these outsourcing sites. I mean, at one time when I was doing this, I was creating an unbelievable amount of hits to these surf sites for $5 a week. I mean, it would take me hours to surf them. Unbelievable amount. And I had three people hired, and they each were doing like 4 sites or 5 sites each, and they were responsible for those 5 sites. And it was just, I mean, I didn't have to even think about clicking, but that was right after, once my daughters were gone, my slave labor was gone. I couldn't force them to be clicking on my surf sites or whatever. Then I had to hire somebody. And that's the first time I ever hired people. And I've done that multiple times over the years. I'm getting ready to do all that again here. I'm with both of these because, and the reason I am is because I like the numbers I'm seeing here. I like the quality of people. If they go here, they go to the box. I like talking to those people. Man, I like talking to those people. I really do. So I'm just sharing some stuff. And again, we can talk about this at whatever level we want. I don't want to get into all the details because I've already done it in two trainings here that you can go through. Uh, Use a junk email address, set up a folder for safe list in Google. And again, it's just numbers, guys. I mean, it was kind of interesting when I was doing this. I just started doing it again with APO Go. This was our first overview webinar. This was our second how to do it. And this guy right here had just joined me from a safe list email that I had done the week before, and he was actually on here. Some of you were on there, you remember that. So you're going to get people, you will. And you know, it's just getting through the numbers like everything else. It's just how can I stack my funnel? All right. Years ago, when I was in my coasting mode, I was playing around a lot with affiliate programs and solo email ads. And the whole concept was if I could spend $100. All right, let me back up because I don't think I've ever talked to this group about solo emails. This is different. Okay. There are people that have huge email lists, 50,000, 80,000, 100,000, 200,000 opportunity seekers. And they're adding to that list all the time. And their business is if you have an opportunity or a product or something and you want to get clicks to it and people looking at it, they'll mail for you. They'll send the emails for you of opportunity seekers. So when I got into this, I don't know, I'm going to say I spent a really good year on this for probably, I don't even know. It's been a long time ago now. And my whole thing is I was promoting a program, an affiliate program that when they joined, I made $35. And I was running solo ads for on average about $100 I was spending per every solo ad. And on average, I was getting about 7 to 8 customers for every solo ad that went out. So I'm making over $200. I'm spending $100 on my solo ad. It's how many ads can I run at that point? I mean, it's just how many providers can I? So I went through every solo ad provider I could find. Some were absolute junk. I got nothing from, but there were some really good ones. And it's like I can make $10,000-15,000 a month doing this. And it was really, really good while it lasted. But it was a good experience. I learned from it. The company that I was promoting went in and changed their whole compensation plan. Instead of getting $35 a month, you got $35 on when they joined, you got $4 a month for 10 months. So what we were getting $35 up front, now we're getting $4 a month for 10 months. And it's like, oh, but you're making $40 now instead of 35. So it totally ruined that business model. But it was fun. It was easy. I didn't have to do much. I already had my emails written. They knew what to send. I would just say, send it again, send it again, send it again, send it again. It was real simple. It was cool. It was when Dawn and I were doing, all the Amazon stuff and just in a coast stage. But I like this. So here's the problem with Collect Direct. There's not enough upfront money. You're not going to make $35. Probably. There's just not enough. There's not enough upfront money. But the long-term money, and because of the duplication factor of network marketing, I personally don't have a problem investing my profits. So I have been out of this loop for a while. So the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to get back into it. I've contacted some solo ad providers I've worked with in the past. I'm saying, if I don't run it with you, who would you recommend? Who would you be your top three? And I've really been spending some time here. And I ran one yesterday, and this is the number of leads that had come in as of like 3 o'clock this morning. I'm going to end up with probably 40 or 50 leads in 24 hours. And it cost me $100 for the solo ad. So I'm just showing you this. I'm not saying you need to do it. I'm saying I'm getting back into it, and I'm going to refine it, and I'm going to figure it out. But I'm willing to spend my profits for long term with Collector Act. I just am. It's like, we're going to be the next eBay. I want as many customers and members as I possibly can get, and I want to automate it to the best of my ability. See, direct outreach takes a lot of time, energy, and effort. It just does. But you need to do that, because that's how you get your skills refined, your attitude refined, your awareness of the industry. It's real important. I would never show somebody this who hadn't come through what you guys have come through, because I would be cheating you, because the direct outreach is where the skill set's developed. See, because if I give this to Joe Blow and he goes and calls whoever this person is after they've come through the process, he'll blow it. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to say. And whoever this person is will eat him up and spit him out. I'm not going to do, I hope that makes sense, what I'm trying to communicate. But I just want you to know, guys, you're going to see me doing things that I have not done in a long time. And I'm running, and it's like, hang on the best you can, because I'm not going to stop. And there's a lot of things we can be doing, but you got to have a mindset around an advertising budget. Some people are too cheap to ever create wealth. They're too frugal to ever create wealth. And again, I'll tell you again, I don't care if you say, Dale, I'm taking 10% of my profits and 10%, I'm going to put 10% into advertising. I think you need an advertising budget. How much it is up to you. But I think you need an advertising budget, so you can not have, where you can create these type of leads this quick. It makes sense for me. All right. Here's the top three. I'll upload them. These are my top three. These are the only ones I've vetted so far, and I'll upload them in a document in the file section this afternoon. That's it. $11:03. We did good. 11:03. That's good. We still got plenty of time. Questions, comments, anything right now?
I just want to comment on all that the ending stuff you just talked about, Dale.
The what? The what stuff?
The ending, the outsourcing and the leads,
Yeah.
and because I recall this was back when we were with APL Go. Someone hired a VA and put them in the Facebook group. Number one, never do that. And that person never mastered lead generation on their own. And so that VA was totally lost, and they found me and reached out to me, and I thought they were part of our team. And I was like, why are they so confused? Trying to help them. And then I figured out the truth. The point of that story is, if you do hire an assistant, never put them in the Facebook group. And two, don't hire them unless you know what you're doing already. Your VA is only as good as you are. You got to teach them. You're not going to send them to me to teach them. And yeah, like Dale said, use your profits, not your grocery money.
Yeah. But it's worth it if for me, it just makes sense. I'm at a point with this. It's like, okay, we got to have every person on this team's got to have. I mean, we need to be thinking 3,300 customers minimal. You know, we need to be thinking, you know, not personally sponsoring 5, personally sponsoring 50, and watching your team grow by 500 every month. I mean, really, your team, you want to get 500 new people on your team every month. That can happen, guys. That will happen for some of you, but it starts with you getting your 5. But we all got to think bigger here. This is gonna happen really quick. You know, comparatively to other things, I think it's going to happen really quick.
And these ad programs will occur after we go public, because most of those are, I mean, those are all over the world, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
But am I not?
But you can narrow, I mean, you can narrow it down to, I mean,
Yes.
with the emails, you can narrow it down to the countries that we're in.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can go
Yeah.
on List Joe and I can say, I just want United States, Canada, and Australia
Okay. Okay.
for the emails. Now the surf sites could be all over the world, but we have no control over that.
I really think that, I mean, with what we're already doing, that we can get to 5 a week with just direct outreach. I mean, it's you know, with the traffic that we're seeing from what we're putting out there, you know, and that traffic builds, right? I mean, because it just keeps stacking on top of each other, and people get back to you a month later or however long later. It's like, you know, that's why the time management is going to be so important, because you could be busy like really fast here, but maybe not as productive as you want to be, because we're not being as efficient as we can with what we're doing. So
That's right, because there's the lag time hasn't even kicked in here yet. We haven't even been doing it long enough to benefit from lag time yet. And the whole lead change program, tag team, none of that is even minuscule to what it's going to be. We're on the early stages of all this. Yeah, so 5 a week for sure is possible. Any questions, guys?
so I guess like one question I have is so I guess everybody just has to figure out for themselves how what their schedule looks like. But it does need to, you do need to know what it looks like. And it's, for me, at times it's easy to get distracted, because, you know, what I want to do is I want to reach out to all the people who just like said they're interested. Right. I mean, that's, you know, because that's like, oh, there's the, you know, the thing, but it's like, there's sometimes of the day that those people need to wait. And I need to like finish like the direct outreach part. And then there's times of the day where my brain doesn't work as well as other times. Some say that's hard to distinguish the difference, um, but, and that's, I shouldn't be making phone calls, you know, in those times, right? Or even answering, you know, the back and forth on some of the questions. It's like, so it's just, you know, direct outreach is the easiest thing that you can do, right? I mean, just sending out messages, you can do that. Like, you don't have to have very much brain function going on. Just send out direct outreach. But like, then when do I you know, do the back and forth answering, and that all of that
If you don't
stuff
mind,
is
then I'll get to you in like half an hour.
Jeff, you're not muted.
Okay.
All of that kind of stuff needs to be scheduled at the best times of the day that you can do it. So I don't know if there's a question there, but it's just something that I'm figuring out for myself.
Comments, questions, anybody? Keep it going.
Yeah, when
Thank you.
Dale, remember one time you said something about sometimes putting your phone number in the direct outreach. When is that the best time to do?
I will do that if I think if I look like they're a real high quality leader. You know, if I think this person's got a huge team, it looks like they got a huge team, I'll put my phone number. But that's the only time. But I think it lends to credibility.
Right. All right, thank you.
Yeah. I think Viola had something. Viola, did you have something? Where'd she go? She popped off the screen. Oh, here she is. Let me unmute you, Viola.
Sorry, I just dropped the phone.
There we go. Oh, I
Not,
muted you.
no question, but I found this could be a very big learning step for me about all this list and all that, but I'll go through this again and we'll see. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not the easiest. I mean, it's not difficult, but you gotta take your time and I mean, List Joe, you go on there, do 1,000 emails, and I'll have samples of what I've been sending for you guys to. I'll upload all of it in the files this afternoon. Gwen.
Yeah, a couple things to comment, and then if I can ask a specific question about LinkedIn and all the early stuff you were talking about, the mindset and the thinking big, I thought I was. And I've got big goals, I want to be a millionaire, all of that stuff. But I tell you, when Mike Culver did his overlay on your rep arena, and it really like slapped me in the face. Like, am I ready really to be responsible for that many people and to be the leader that brings that many people along? It's like, whoa, no, I've got a lot of work to do. So that was really impactful, and I love all the mindset. I'm working on. Of course, I'm listening to the Self Talk Plus app every day. That's helping a lot, and just all of it. But that really hit me on how much work there really is to do in my head still. So anyway, and then LinkedIn, Alan or whoever, I don't know. I've run into now when I go to a group, I used to be able to just message. Now when I click on message, it seems like if they are an upgraded member, a special message box come up and I can use it. But otherwise, when I click on message, it's sending me to a page wanting me to upgrade, and I can't just send a normal message.
So you have not upgraded yourself.
No, I have not upgraded.
It's, you know what, Gwen, I'm sorry, but it's just something you're gonna have to deal with.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, are you saying do upgrade or?
It doesn't get any better. I'm running into the same thing. That's why Shelly beat me. Because I had to use Facebook to get to my numbers this week.
That's what I've been doing. Yeah.
So and the thing that I noticed with you just have to slow down with Facebook. If you just slow down, it's like because their computer is watching for habitual, like it's like the slot machine things, all right? They're watching for your habits. It's watching for your habits, and so it's looking to see if you're a human or a computer. So you have to be a human. So if you get in too much of a routine, they're gonna block you. Okay. But like last night, I did it on my phone, which made me slow down.
Oh, good idea.
And and I just go again and on Facebook, I go into groups, and then I pull up a name, right? Because I can't you can't I'm not gonna scroll all the way down, into a group because it's from earliest to oldest in the group, right? But I pull up a name and then I slowly, and I will look to make sure they're in one of the countries we're in because I just don't want to deal with the other if I don't have to. And I look, I'm telling secrets, but whatever. It's like we're all on the same team. I'm looking for the most American like names I can come up with, right?
Right.
I'm looking for guys with baseball caps. I'm looking
Right.
I'm looking for Americans, right? Like,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, that's what those kind of guys that look like that might have been to a sporting event, right?
Right.
That's who I'm, I mean, and I'm getting great. I mean, I sponsored the lady who's the optometrist at the Walmart, you know, Mary, because I must have messaged Mary at some point, you know, but that's what I'm focusing on, and that seems to be the highest priority. So, and then just like click through on that, and yeah, it's gonna take more time. But I mean, you have to have very little brain power to do it. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you. That helps.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Mike Culver jarred a lot of people the other night. It was really good. I got a lot of comments from that. So I hope he's on here. I haven't seen him, but I hope he's on here because it really made an impact for people. Cindy Donahue.
Hi. um, I what Alan said earlier in the call just absolutely nailed what I've been thinking and going through lately, and about the wasting of time. You know, all these people, they're small talk, they're, hi, how are you? Hey, you don't care. Let's get past this. Time's our most valuable asset. Here you go. And I just put it right to them. I mean, I'm not here. And if they start with this little small talk thing, I just send it right to them, because I'm getting a lot of people that are messaging me out of the blue. And it's really kind of comical seeing how they're doing their things. I mean, they're sending these, especially these financial people, messages like this long. But first, I don't have time to read that. None of us do. And secondly, I send them immediately to the financial video. They come back incredibly defensively, like, no, this isn't one of those. Oh my God, you know, like I have blown up their mind. And it gets back to this not wasting time, wasting less time. And it's put me kind of in a different mindset, I guess is the best word. And the just other things I'm adding to it now. I'm learning the right way to do Pinterest. I'm, you know, learning these different little things on the side. But what it boils down to is direct outreach is teaching me the most about people. I mean, what triggers them, where their PO point is, you know, and especially the LG type people. Oh man, and they send big messages too. And it's like, have you ever taken the tour? No. Here, this is it, you know, and this is the video, the three things you need to know. And they're like, how dare you? It's
Oh,
actually, there's a bit of comedy there.
Yeah, you got to learn to enjoy it.
Mm,
You got to
it,
enjoy it and learn. It's just so predictable.
it is.
Just so predictable. But every now and then you find that right person, and
Mhm,
and you'll find two or three a week, and you can get to five a week.
mhm.
But it's the same thing over and over. And guys, I mean, I've been dealing with this for 40 years at some level. So, it just is what it is. Yeah. And when they send me, hey, sometimes I'll just say, hey, or they won't even say Dale half the time, or hey, Dave. Everybody and their brother calls me Dave. And it's like, I just go click real quick. What are they doing? Finance? Are they MOM? They're MOM. If they're MOM, then they get the You've Been Lied To, the new one with the beach babes on the cover. I just send them that. If they're financial, they get the financial one. And then they're going to come back and tell me, oh, but we're different. Of course you think you are. Then they get the article on cognitive dissonance. So do yourself a favor. The podcast didn't help you. Read this article. And then they probably won't mess with me anymore. But if enough of us do that over time, it's going to make an impact. It's like the new podcast, the you've been lied to, the when people say, why did you send me a spammy email? Boom, send them that podcast. These people, they've been totally trained wrong. And I was telling somebody this week, I said, look, after 100,000 people have heard that podcast, it's not going to make a bit of difference for 90,000 of them, but it will for 10,000. And those 10,000 making the switch, I mean, it's gonna make a positive impact on all this over time. After we've been doing this about 3 or 4 or 5 years. Tom, go ahead. Tom in Chicago.
Yeah, hi Dale. Just had to find the mute button. Parked on the side of the road here. I wanted I had a question about our process, right? And I'm referencing the one that you commented on. I had a question about how to respond to this dude on the MLM world group, and said he watched the box video, which I posted with the hamster wheel, and he said right away, okay, I watched the video, how do I make money, you know, blah blah blah. He wanted to know about making money, and I said, well, we got a process to, you know, to qualify you, and I sent him my last MLM, and then you came back and said to message him personally and give him the comp plan video. But I mean, what's the process? Do we go with the play 1 and play 2, right? The 2 MLM videos, or can we, when they have a question between those, answer those questions with other videos?
It
Does that make
depends.
sense?
Yeah, I follow you. And you've got to pay close attention to the questions that they're asking. That's the answer. Because the question determines your response. It's not always this. You know what I'm saying? So you did this, which is fine.
Yeah.
And because it was on a public forum like that, that's exactly what I would have done. But if it had been not public and through email, I would have done this, but I probably would have maybe sent him to the Make Money with Collectibles.pro
Comp plan.
Yeah, that has the comp plan and everything laid out for him. Because if he's legit, then that's a good question. You know, if he's legit and he has this, but I might have turned around and sent him to the last MLM as well. But you got to pay attention to what they're telling
Well,
you.
hold on. Now, so let's just say I didn't send him the last MLM and I sent him the comp plan video, and then he comes back and goes, this is awesome. What's your join link? I want to join. But, I mean, we can't skip the last MLM with anybody, right?
Yeah, well, you can.
Yeah.
You can.
You
If
can.
they've seen the box, if they've seen the box and the rival video, those 2 things, I'm okay with it. If they're ready to getting them on a call and qualifying them and getting them started. I would prefer box last MLM, because that's just a lay down if they do box last MLM. But it's okay to do box, call, and roll. If you know,
Okay.
you just kind of
Cool.
sometimes there's some steps you cannot leave out. And I don't think it's mandatory to get them to the last MLM.
All right. Main thing is they see the box. They got to see the box before they get a link, right?
They aren't going to
So
see the
link.
4-minute video and join under any circumstances.
No.
Under any circumstances.
Okay, I'm much more clear on that. Thanks.
And Tom, I know you know this, but for everybody, for some of the other guys, what he didn't say is answer a question. The thing is never answer a question. It's always something, some video, some podcast, something. It's never, oh, well, we're funny, blah, blah, blah. And just like, don't ever tell them stuff, because then they'll just dismiss you. right? We need to educate them. So always it's some third party, it's some other thing, link that we're given. Go here, look at this, go here, listen to this, go there, this, that will answer this. Never give them the information. It's so wonderful, it's so great. And then all the way at the end of your 2 paragraphs of explanation, you leave something. Don't do that. Okay.
Yeah. If you say it, they doubt it. If somebody else says it, they believe it. It's just the way it is.
Thanks, you guys. I'm going back to work.
Make sure you're on the call at noon. You know
I'll be
about the
there.
call. Yeah, okay. Jeff, did you have something else? Okay.
I'm starting to really see the when we're doing the direct outreach and you run across people that say, you know, why are you sending me this? This is amateur. I don't know why who's training you for this and stuff like that. But I'm starting to see the sequential process that you talked about, how you have to go through these numbers so that you can build up your skills, know how to talk to them. And also when Alan had mentioned about the pendulum swinging when you're doing these outreaches, man, it has happened to me so many times. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But it's like I realize you just got to get back and just keep doing it the same way, because once you keep doing it the same way, you're going to help develop your skills. And it's like, it's crazy. And it's really, really refining your skills. So when you start to do other things, it'll be a lot easier. And I'm like, wow. And most people can't, even people that are making a lot of money can't see that. Well, they just don't tell you that they see it, but they're the same
Don't see
way.
it. Yeah, they don't see it. And that's the thing, Jeff. If somebody says, well, who trained you? Blah, blah, blah. Why would you send me this spammy email? Man, copy the link to that YouTube video and say, who trained you? Boom. And just put, just yank their chain because they need it. They just need a 2x4. Because use that video. Use that YouTube link, guys, because they go on there and probably the person that trained them pictures on the thumbnail.
Oh man.
Okay.
And it just becomes entertaining. It becomes so, there's nobody, guys, there's nobody who's trained like us. Once you're just down the road just a little bit, it becomes entertaining to watch how their brains work. I had a guy yesterday, they're so afraid of saying yes that he's like, his first response back was, I'm not missing this one. I'm not watching your link. I'm not gonna do it. And I'm like, and I just laughed because I'm like, that guy is gonna watch my link. It's like, and I'm like, oh, okay, Superman, like, what company are you with? And it's like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, how long have you been with them? Oh, a year. It's like, oh, interesting. It's like, and then I just put in my link. It's like, you're gonna love this. And it's like, that guy is gonna watch my link because he's not trained. He can't control his emotions, right? It's like he's gonna click it. It's like, I don't know if I want him, but it's like they are not prepared for us. There's nobody who's doing that. So anyway.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing. Dale, I got the AWeber campaign all set up.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up.
Good.
Go ahead.
Want to explain?
Let them know. Yeah.
So we have the 100K side gig, which is only for us in the boot camps. A couple people outside the boot camp got it on accident, but it's only for us in the boot camp.
It was on me.
But Dale, since the video is working so well, we set up an AWeber campaign just for that boot camp video. So I put in all of you should have got an email from Groove that you are now added to the ninja section of Groove. Just log into your normal CMG collectdirectteam.com account, and you're going to see a section at the bottom that says ninjas. And then there's the training for setting up the site, but also for the AWeber campaign. And there's that. And try to do it first before contacting me. I believe this is part of the self-education Dale didn't know that stuff. If Dale can do it, you can do it.
So is that
Yeah.
different than,
Yes,
is that different
Yes.
than what I already have set up?
yes.
This is brand new. We
Can-
just,
Can you explain? what it
yeah,
is?
we just did this yesterday. We just got done yesterday, and I am really excited about it. Philip, did you like the messages?
Yeah, they're really good. It's
The psychological flow of the messages they're going to get after they see side gig, I really, really like what.
Okay,
So from the day they join, if they don't fill out that form, they're getting another message. And I've already gotten this morning. Oh, I thought I'd sent that out. I'm so glad you contacted me. Yes, I want to talk to somebody. So, but they're going to get message every day. What about when they run out of the collectibles? Everything. Is it? And after the 5th day, I think it's, are you ready to do your due diligence, Alan? And then we're sending them to that. I mean, and then after 14 days, dude, I've said everything I can say. I'm scratching you off my list.
that's
I
unbelievable.
really like the flow of that. So definitely, if you're using, and everybody should be using 100K side gig. And I like those messages. Of course, you want to go in, you can change whatever you want, but they can put their own picture and stuff. I'm sure Philip walked you through how to do that in the training. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I would have forgotten about it. That's going to take that to a whole different level, entirely different level. And
So
since I'm running,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, because I'm going to be running a lot of traffic to that site. And it's like, I want to capture that information and I want to milk it to the very best of my ability to try to get everything I can from it. Because there's not going to be any tag team member for those people. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that I squeeze everybody that I can and get as much as we can from it. But I'm really excited about it.
So we're
So
just
should we
replacing the
replace-
code? Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Let me explain that. Okay, so Groove Pages, you guys should have a handle of that. The Aweber section depends. And I went over that in the video, and there's a weird thing. Number one, if you have a premium Aweber account, which is $15 a month, you can just import his Dale's campaign like that, and then you just edit whatever. If you have a free account, and I showed this on the training video, it depends. Sometimes they let you import, sometimes they don't. There's no reason. There's whatever. So if they don't, I went over the manual process of copying from the Google sheet that's there, copying Dale's message, putting it into Aweber, and uploading your photo if you want your photo in the signature like Dale has. And you probably, if you have a free Aweber, this free Aweber account is going to have to be different than your free account with your box because they're different messages. So that's in there in the training, but it is just copy and paste, edit it, looking at it. There's no coding, nothing like that. So it's doable.
Okay. I'm excited about this call coming up in 26 minutes. I'm going to go have me a cup of coffee. And y'all think I know something. I don't know something, but I kind of feel like I do. But I don't know for sure. But I'm excited. And I was told by the programmer when the retail site goes live that we will have a coupon for you, Dale, within a week after that date. So that gives me a week to do what I got to do between now and when that coupon comes out. And and your first investment in your business should be in an Aweber account because you're going to need it because we're going to have so many different things and you want, I mean, that's my opinion is you should have an Aweber account just so you can follow up, and build your list. But what was I going? Oh, yeah. Once this card comes out,
Coupon.
the coupon, yeah. Once all this comes out, we're going to be able to target every collector on Facebook, so we can get away from some of these network marketers for a while. You know, I would give us some option, but so I'm going to contact Hot Wheels people today, Hot Wheels collector. You know, and that's going to be a whole different vibe, a whole different message, it's going to be totally different. But I think they will be beyond fired up to learn more. I mean, just how do I find out more? I can get free Hot Wheels every month. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that approach, and that's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Is that exactly how you would feel, Dale, if you weren't in Collect Direct and someone could message you about a new shopping place for your cards?
I'd say, oh, it's a scam.
But you look into it. You look at everything.
But by the third time I got it, I said, what the heck is this? And that's what I do now. I don't look at anything until I've seen it 2 or 3 times. And then I'll go in and I'll click and it's like red flag and I'll never look at it again. But then I start looking and it's like, you know, it's like when I started looking at Collect Direct, come on, where's the red flag here? Never found it. The red flags are easy to spot usually. So that's the way I look at it. Yeah. I would say scam. Wait a minute, what are they doing? For the same reason that banner is getting more clicks all the time on the click exchanges, on the surf exchanges, because they keep seeing the banner, they keep seeing the page. They're going to click on everybody on all those sites is eventually going to click and figure out what's going on. It's just the way it works. And that's what we'll do. And there'll be somebody, you know, they're out at Michigan Stadium to the football game, and the first time they get the postcard, it might end up in the trash, but the second time or the third time it won't. It's just the way human nature, it's the way this thing works. So yeah, we'll dial this in and just blow it up. Just blow it up, because we'll just blow it up. Everything that we've done up to this I've done for 40 years is like, boom, now I can take all this stuff, everything, and apply it with Collect Direct. And average people with above average desire can do it. And I love that. I just love that. So it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. It really is. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's go jump on the corporate call. Talk to you guys next Saturday. I think I'm in Kentucky, and it'll be our last boot camp. And then I'll let all of you know when we redo this again. We're going to just make some adjustments, and we got to get the whole tag team thing, everything really refined in, and we will do that. Just give me a little bit of time, because it's going to take a little bit of time, but we'll be back again, and you can still get input and from that site, from the Facebook page from now on. Now that you've got into it, you'll always be into it. All right, y'all have a good one. Appreciate you being here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. It was
Thank you,
awesome.
Dale.
Thank you.
See ya.
Good stuff.
Guys.
Have a good weekend.
See you, group.
Thanks, Dale, and everybody.
Bye, y'all.
See everybody.